And so I just want to welcome everyone here. I want to welcome the online audience. If y'all would join me in welcoming everyone who's watching online. I'm so glad that you all are here today. And I just first off want to thank Pastor Carrie. I know she's not here this morning. She is missing y'all so much. She wishes she was here. I just want to honor her because honestly, this sisterhood would not be what it is, and that value of acceptance would not be here if it wasn't for Pastor Carrie and her leadership. Yes, thank you. And so I'm just honored to be up here, that she even entrusts me to speak to y'all. I mean, I'm sure that many of you have a lot more wisdom than I do in a lot of ways, but I'm very honored to be up here and excited to be talking to you all today. And if you've noticed in your workbooks, the topic for this week, this is week 2 of our series, Taming the Beast. And what is the beast? Our words, our tongue, yes, taming our tongue. And so this is week 2, and today we're really talking about believing in yourself. And it's not just believing in ourselves just for ourselves, because obviously we all know apart from God we can really do nothing. It's believing in God in us, and it's believing in who God has called us to be. And what does it mean to believe in yourself? You know, Satan actually seeks to make us either boastful or bashful. He's always seeking to make us either boastful or bashful. You know, comparison is a deadly game that leaves you either feeling inferior or superior. Have y'all ever, you know, you're at home and you're getting ready and you put your outfit on, you're looking in the mirror and you're like, dang, I look good. You know, like you feel good. You're like, okay, I'm good. And then you go out and then you see someone and they look like 100 times better than you and you're like, man, I thought I looked so cute today. Then you see someone else and they got hot new shoes on, like Jessica Huffman, or they have, you know, some cute top on, or, you know, something, and you're like, man, I thought I looked good. And then all of a sudden you start to question yourself. Do I really look as good as I thought I did? Is this really a cute outfit? Am I really looking okay? And you start to question, you start to feel inferior. Or maybe you're not feeling so good, and then you see someone who's really bumming it that day, and you're like, I look good compared to that person. You know, I'm feeling pretty good. It always leaves you either feeling better than someone else and boastful, or it leaves you feeling not as good as someone else and inferior. And it's never positive. We should never be on either side of that spectrum. And so we want to look at the words we use about ourselves today. We want to look at how do you speak about yourself. And when you're looking at, you know, at yourself, what are the words that you're using? And you'll see that the first topic is self-deprecation. And I know that's kind of a big word, but basically it means to talk badly of yourself. You know, deprecate just means to express your disapproval of or to belittle. And so it's basically just saying when you look at yourself or you're talking about yourself in a negative way. You know, so many times self-deprecation is disguised as humility. It's disguised as humility, but it is actually a rejection of the Word of God. You know, we need to watch the words that we use about ourselves. It's so easy. Have y'all ever found that it's really easy to see the beauty in others? It's really easy to see what they're good at. It's really easy to believe in faith for them, for what they're wanting, but then it's so hard to do the same for ourselves. You know, it's so easy to look at your daughter and say, you're beautiful, you're perfect in every way, there's nothing I would change about you. But you look at yourself and say, oh, I wish this was different, and I wish this didn't look like this, and I wish that didn't look like that. We judge ourselves, but it's so easy to believe it for the other person, right? It's so easy to see the beauty in the other person. It's so easy to see the potential in the other person, but it can be so difficult to see the potential in ourselves, to see that we have it on the inside of us. You know, so many times it's a defense mechanism when someone says, oh, you should really do that. And you say, yeah, right, I could never do that. Just like Tiffany was saying, right? So many times we say, oh, I could never do that. And really, you may even have a secret desire to do that, but you're like, yeah, right, I'm not gonna do a good job. I'm not gonna be good. And you think it's humility, oh, I'm being humble by saying that. But really, you're self-deprecating yourself. You're putting yourself down. And knowing your value is not pride, and speaking down about yourself is not humility. We have to remember that. Knowing your value is not pride, and speaking down about yourself is not humility. So many times we speak down about ourselves, again, just as a defense mechanism. You know, we say something stupid, and so we say, oh, I'm so dumb, just so no one else will say it. But you're not dumb. That's not what the Word of God says about you. When you speak badly about yourself, when you speak down about yourself, that's a rejection of what the Word of God says about you. And so we have to be very careful that we don't speak those words. The second thing is be careful of negative labels that don't line up with the Word. In Luke chapter 8, verse 30, Jesus was asking a man, "What is your name?" And he replied, "Legion." And that was because he was filled with many demons. But that was not the man's given name. But he had struggled with that issue for so long that he labeled himself Legion. He now called himself that. And Pastor Clay Baird preached an amazing message this past Sunday night at Fuse. And it was titled, "Who Told You That You Were Naked?" Or as Pastor Carey tweeted, "Who told you that you were naked?" in the South. Naked, how Pastor Stovall says it. In Genesis, when Adam and Eve sinned, God came to them and said, "Who told you you were naked?" Because God didn't tell them that. So I want to ask you, who told you that you're ugly? Who told you that you're depressed? Who told you that you'll never be healed? Who told you that your marriage will never be restored? Who told you that you're not good enough? Because God didn't say that. God didn't put that label on you. And so don't take that label on yourself. No label that does not line up with the Word of God should ever be put on your life. We need to speak the things that God speaks over us and believe those things. So don't take those negative labels and identify with that. Oh, I'm a cutter. Oh, I'm depressed. Oh, I'm, whatever it is, I'm just dumb blonde. Whatever it might be, don't take that label and put it on yourself, because that's not what the Word of God says about you, okay? Just like with Moses, the third one is self-deprecation displeases God. It displeases God. And Moses, whenever God came to him and was telling him basically what he was going to do, he pleaded with the Lord, "Oh Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been and I'm not now. Even though you have spoken to me, I get tongue-tied and my words get tangled." And then the Lord asked Moses, "Who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak, hear or do not hear, see or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say." And actually, Moses, even after that, again, basically says, "Send anyone but me."